All right, I'm here with Blake Wingo, and those of you who don't know Blake, Blake is, you are the worship leader here at High Point.
That's right.
And by the way, we are right here back at High Point.
And associate pastor.
Yeah, and associate pastor. This is the stage where, man, everything went down this weekend where God just moved and made tremendous leaps and bounds in our students' lives and even in our leaders' lives. And so I come back to just kind of wrap it up. And Blake is the guy that is behind the scenes this whole weekend. So Blake, I just want to tell you thank you. We appreciate all that you did with the sound, the lights, and the band, and just coordinating everything. There's always that person that is in the behind the scenes that is just kind of making everything run seamless. Yeah. And man, all the DNOWs that we've done and stuff, this one was just great. It was seamless. It was phenomenal. And so thank you on behalf of all the churches, our students, and just the people that don't see all that, you know.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
But I'm interested, just kind of, you're sitting back in the back, you know, what did you think? What were your observations from DNOW?
Well, probably the biggest thing is I told our church this on Sunday morning. I actually didn't lead worship on Sunday morning here. We actually, the DNOW band led worship for us on Sunday morning, or the bulk of them anyway. But I told our church during, you know, I do closing and announcements and things like that, associate pastor type stuff.
Right.
And I told them it was really cool to me to see when the thing first started and we have, you know, different groups sitting in different parts of the auditorium, and then over the course of the weekend to kind of see just this intermelding. I think the culmination of it was like just awesome picture there at the very end.
Right.
Where you have this melding, and it's like all across the front, all the students jumping up and down, all the students before that during this surrender time coming up just on their knees in the altar, and you literally could not tell where one group stopped and another group started, and that was powerful to me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I didn't notice it as much, but man, that was phenomenal. And I told our students, I said, I've never seen y'all act like this, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's one of our prayers. Even Matt had shared with me about High Point students. It's just there's that disconnect in worship, and I guess there's what's the word I'm looking for? Just some resiliency to just go all out and worship. Right. And I feel like, man, those walls were just broken down this week. And Jeff did a good job, I thought, of bringing in the Lord's Supper in a unique way and tying that into worship. I think it had an impact on our students.
It definitely did ours. On Sunday mornings, or on Sunday morning following, our students, you know, normally sit up towards the front center section, and you know, they're just kind of leading out in worship.
Right.
And they had previously really not been doing that. I mean, they bring energy to the room because they're young, but when they start leading out in worship, you know, I always tell them, hey, you lead and they'll follow.
That's right. That's right. You know, one thing I've noticed being in youth ministry for 10 plus years now is every act of that, well, I won't say an act, I guess, but every movement, even within the church, is usually started with the young people.
No doubt.
And that's what I want you guys to understand is, man, you have so much impact and influence beyond what you could ever imagine, and people feed off of that. So I just want to encourage you, keep it up, man. Keep your passion for God. Do the little things right so you can sustain that over time. But one thing I want to just recap with, we know anytime God's at work, Satan is going to attack. And he does that. He doesn't fight fair. You know, he just hits below the belt. And I see even in our group, man, we're facing that attack already. Yeah. And so what you've been in ministry for a while. Yeah. What would you say to the students and the leaders of these ministries, different churches? What's your opinion on that?
Just the spiritual warfare aspect of it in general, I'd say this is the time that your peers need your prayers more than anything. You know, we have a prayer meeting that we have here with some of our deacons, trustees, and things like that on Wednesday mornings, and we constantly are emphasizing that. We put a huge focus on DNOW for exactly what you're talking about. You know, just the way we say it is, nothing of any spiritual significance happens apart from prayer.
That's awesome. That's right.
And so
I absolutely agree with that.
For us to come in here and do everything that we did and see life change and see people surrender and all of that, it's really a moot point if we don't continue to tarry each other in our prayers daily.
Right.
And so I would say that that's step number one, and it's a huge one, you know,
Right.
is to, in the morning, at night, throughout the day, without ceasing, continually just be lifting each other up in prayer and bonding together, come together and pray. There's something powerful about hearing each other's prayers as well. So.
Yeah. Well, guys, you heard it here. We just want to wrap it up. Man, the Spirit of God that moved here in such a powerful way is the same Spirit of God that moves in our church or your church, wherever you're from, that came to DNOW. We're praying for you guys, praying hard for you guys because we know you need it. You guys live in a very tough world, and it's not easy. And so, but you can do it. You got to believe in the power of God within you, and sometimes you just got to look at Satan and say, "Not today.
Yeah.
You're not having victory today.
Absolutely.
It ain't working." So I encourage you guys. We love you guys, and here's to a good weekend.
I'm ready for the next one.
That's right. See you guys.